I can start off this trick by just having the spectator touch any card they would like. Let's say they touch this one. So now I would show the spectator their selection and have them remember it. And it's actually okay if I see it. So in this case, we have the 8 of clubs. The spectator would remember the 8 of clubs, and when they're done, place it on top of the deck. And now we can cut the 8 of clubs into the deck and continue cutting the cards like this. After the spectator is satisfied with cutting the deck, I would say, okay. Now, we're going to try some magic here. As you saw, I had a red deck here, and this is blue. But we're going to try a little bit of magic and maybe switch the backs of the cards. So if these are blue and this is red, how about your 8 of clubs be red? So if I snap my fingers, we go through the pack here, we can see only one card is red, just like this, and no other card is red because the rest are blue. One card and one card only is the 8 of clubs. Now that's pretty impressive, but wait, I had this red deck here, and if we go over to it and we open it up, I can show you all of these cards are red. And if we go through the deck here, there's going to be one card that's blue, and this card is the 8 of clubs. That is the trick. If you would like to learn how this is done, be sure to stick around for the tutorial. Okay, so here's how you can do this trick here. Now, first of all, you're going to need a lot of things. The first thing you're going to need is some double-sided tape. So if you have some double-sided tape, you're set for the trick. If you don't have any double-sided tape, you probably won't be able to do this trick, because here's what you're going to do for the double-sided tape. You're actually going to have another 8 of clubs right here. So this is your setup here. So I have 2 decks of cards. I have red here, and I have blue. What I did, so I chose one deck, in this case blue, and I got 2 8 of clubs, and I got one more card, but it actually has some double-sided tape on it. Okay? Maybe you can see that, maybe you can't. But you're going to take a little strip of tape and you're going to put it on a different card. In this case, the 7 of clubs. And once you're done with that little stick of tape there, you're going to take one of your duplicates that match up. So in this case, the other 8 of clubs. And this is going to be on top of the deck. So essentially, that first 8 of clubs, when I had you touch any card, was this 8 of clubs, okay? And you're going to take this other blue 8 of clubs and you're going to place it in a different color deck. So in this case, blue 8 of clubs in a red deck. And this goes into the red box. Now you're going to want to make sure you have that 8 of clubs from the red deck. And this goes on the bottom. And then you have your double stick tape card on top, and then your 8 of clubs on top. So let's go over that setup one more time. So on top, you have your duplicate 8 of clubs. It can be any card. I just pulled out a random card and got the 8 of clubs. Have a different card. It doesn't matter what it is. And you're going to put some tape on it. After you're done with that, one card on the bottom is going to be a different color, and that will be the 8 of clubs. And then in your red deck here, you're going to have a blue 8 of clubs there, okay? So this is your setup. Now this is sort of like the Chicago street card trick, so the Red Hot Mama. I actually taught that trick a long time ago, because this is like a sort of a multiple color changing trick. So how you're going to start the trick is simple. You're going to have your red deck here. You're going to have your double stick card on top. And then your 8 of clubs, you're going to have a break. Now the reason you're having a break is because you don't want it to be stuck to this card. Okay? So it's sort of like a Marlowe tilt. So I have it underneath my pinky there and resting on my thumb. Fleshy part of my thumb. What you're going to do is force this card. So starting off, if you want, you can do some false cuts. Be sure not to flash the red 8. If you do a riffle shuffle, beware, you might flash that red card like this. So if you really want to do a shuffle, it's going to have to be really close to have it on the bottom. And then you're going to have to retain these 2 cards on top. So the easiest thing to do is some false cuts. Making sure not to flash. So you have this deck off to the side, and you can say whatever you want about it, or you can just leave it there. Personally, I say that I have a prediction in here, and I know what's going to happen. So now with that break, what you're going to do is peel off this card, and then it's going to look like you're going to peel off the second card, but when it's right about halfway off of the deck here, you're going to start spreading. And this is sort of like the call force. Now, I have made a whole video on the call, so make sure you check that out. I'm not sure if I made a video on the call force. I might have in one of my card control videos. But if I didn't, just let me know, and I will make a whole video on the call force. So you have the card like this. You peel off. You're about to peel off this card, but then you start spreading. You say, here, touch any card. And you want to make sure these cards get spread on top. Conceal this card underneath the bottom. Because even though they do touch any card, let's say this one, you're going to tap it like this, and you're going to be showing them that bottom 8 of clubs. And it's okay if you see it. If you don't want to, that's totally fine too. That's your call. Gonna have them remember this. Now the only downside is they cannot sign this card because it's going to get on top of that tape and then lost. So they won't be able to sign it. So after they're done remembering it, you're going to take the 8 of clubs and you're going to place it on top of the deck, and you're going to want to press down and make sure it sticks to that double stick card. So how do I do that? Very simple. You can either use your thumb, push down for a second, and now you did it. Make sure it's harder than that. Or what I do is simple. I have it on top, I go over and I push my index finger down on top and I lift up half of the deck. That's a perfect way to make the card stick without it looking suspicious, but also lifting up half the deck, because you're going to have to cut the card in. So I come over, I push down on this top card, and I lift up about half, and now the card is stuck. So right here. So I push down, I lift up, and I put the rest of the cards on top, keeping in mind this red 8 of clubs is there. Now, you can cut the deck as much as you would like. Just keep in mind you're gonna have that red card circulating throughout the deck. So make sure you can keep an eye out for where it is, because you don't want to reveal it too early. Now, I wouldn't recommend a riffle shuffle, but if you really want to, what you could do is you could cut it near the bottom, about the second or first card. So probably the second or third, actually. And then you can do a tight riffle shuffle. But personally, I wouldn't do a shuffle. But cuts are fine. And you want to make sure that doesn't happen right there. Now, if you do an overhand shuffle, keep in mind, you might reveal that red card, like right there and there. So I wouldn't do any overhand shuffles, just cuts. Now, once you're done, you can make any pattern you want, but essentially you want a reason for the card to change color. So I can say, now I had this red deck here and I had a prediction. What if we could take the both backs of the cards and both backs of the cards here and switch color? Well, that would be amazing. You can snap your fingers, do whatever you want. Essentially, when you go through the deck here, because of that double stick card, they're only going to see this card right here. You can take it out and show them. It's the 8 of clubs. Now that's pretty impressive. Let that sit and let that sink in. And if you want to, you can show the rest of the cards because they're not going to see that 8 of clubs, because you know behind the 7 of clubs is your double thick card here. So they can just get a brief overview of the deck and say, but remember, I had a prediction in the red box. If we go over and we open this up, only one card and one card only, and that would be the 8 of clubs. Now, one thing I forgot to mention, I would probably do for this red deck, you know you have the 8 of clubs here, blue. So in this red deck here, what I would do is I would take out that 8 of clubs so it's not in there anymore. So if we look in here, it looks totally good. Okay, so you have that taken out. So just wanted to make sure I cleared that up. So that red card was right here. Okay, good. So that is the trick. Now, of course, you don't end clean, but for the red deck, you do. But for the blue deck, you're going to have that double thick card. So if you want to, you could probably palm it off. So control it to the bottom or the top, and then just palm it off. But that was the trick. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you guys next week with a new trick or two. Bye.